So the last thing is our catalog program. So let me kill all the other programs. So we go back into the catalog. It's cloudmesh catalog. So in here, when we do the typical CMS catalog command, there is a start, stop, and info command. So I can now say catalog info just to see what happens. And it simply says there is nothing happening here. And this checks if the fast API server is running. So where do I find that? Well, in the catalog server. So when we go in here, we have the cloudmesh, we have the commands. Remember, I had an init command here, the info command, start and stop, and status. So now let's find out where these commands are, right? So I look into this. I see here the init command, which says not implemented, right? There is a start command, which is implemented, a stop command, and a status command, and an info command here. So now, see, they are also all going out into something called Service Manager. Service Manager start. Here I seem to be doing some PID to pass along. Service Manager stop, Service Manager status, Service Manager info. So where would I find that? Well, I go to the top of this file and figure out where Service Manager comes from. See if Service Manager is coming from Catalog Manager. So Catalog Manager is here. This is the class that implements this whole thing. Now the start is being implemented here. The PID is implemented here. The stop is implemented here. The status and the info. And that's it. All of this stuff is implemented. So now how do I find out the info command? Well, I'm issuing simply a curl call to the port ID, which should be running. This is essentially like a web call. And that if since the web server is not up and running, I intercept this and simply say, hey, you know, this is a problem. This is how I get the status. So if I, for example, say CMS catalog status, right? I say, oh, false, the thing is not running. Okay, good. Now on info, I just figure out from the process table if I'm actually running the server in the background or not. That's what I'm doing here. And the PID is actually written into a directory that's called cloudmesh.cloudmesh/catalog. And that's where I get the PID from. And this happens in the init command here, where I actually read this thing out. So that's the reason why, for example, can say here, okay, give me the info, and there is nothing running at this time.
And I remember we did some work about this last week. When you do the command start, does it actually start a PID server?
Now let's take a look at this. So we should also have a kill command, which is not yet implemented apparently. So okay. I have so let's now try the start command. So CMS catalog start, and now it actually has a start command there. So if something were to be running, I could be running the info command. And as you can see, now I have children. I have 2 children that are running here, and they seem to be doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? So now, how do I figure out if the service is running? I can do the status command. And it says, hey, that thing is true. If this thing, however, is true, I can actually push it up. I can view it. So the program that I didn't implement is a viewer into that particular server, right? But we remembered we had some default ports here, right? And it's not yet implemented. I hope that anybody of you guys would have implemented this, but I can now say open, or actually gopen on my system. And your system, it's open, local host : slash colon 8001. And it says this is not supported. And I don't know why it's not supported. So I better stop the recording.